Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a thumb war. I'll give you this silver knife to save your neck, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society saves your neck with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I'm joined, as I'm always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. Mark, how's it going?
It's going great. So excited to have this Nintendo Direct to talk about, and so excited to have a special guest here
Yes,
to do it with us.
We are joined by friend of the show, host of Call Me By Your Game, the inimitable Conner McCabe is here.
Hello, lads. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, thank you for... We originally booked you for a Nintendo Direct prediction episode.
Yes.
Before there were all these rumors about a Direct coming on that same day.
Yeah.
I'll have you know, I only took my foot off the gas a little once the rumor started to fly that this was coming Tuesday.
Yes, it's well, I mean, and we were all prepared with like another episode to go out on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because here we are now, and we are going to be running through the Nintendo Direct that happened on Tuesday. But first, just got to shout out the Patreon, patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you're following us, supporting us at the 8-bit or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the movies.
Yes, where Patrick, myself, and usually a special guest are going to the movies together, seeing a movie, and then talking about it. This weekend, we're going to go see Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day.
Yeah, very excited for Disclosure Day.
Yeah,
Mark's not that excited. He didn't like the trailer.
I don't really know what to expect from this movie.
I'm expecting aliens.
That's interesting.
So check that out. Also, we have other miniseries that are available at the 4-bit level and at the free level. So there's something for you regardless of what you want to kick in over at the Patreon. Thank you so much to our new patron, Finn Haverkamp. Appreciate that. Appreciate everyone who is supporting us over there or listening to the podcast now or who are in our Discord. Speaking of the Discord, email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com, and I will send you an invitation to that Discord where you could have been interacting with us in real time as we were all not melting down about this Nintendo Direct, but just sort of like having our hearts broken in real time. I don't know. I don't want to overly characterize it as a totally negative experience.
But you can speak for yourself.
I will speak for myself that I was feeling like less and less attached to the whole enterprise as we went on. But anyway, get in there. It's a bunch of people who are having conversations about Nintendo and this show all the time. So it's a fun place to be. All right, let's stop screwing around, Connor.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you for the apology. Let's break down this Nintendo Direct. Tuesday, June 9th, 2026, 7 a.m.
Yep.
On the West Coast here. We learned about this thing for real about a day before.
Yep.
Yeah, about 24 hours before. And it had been a rumored Direct, and like pieces of the Direct itself had been part of the sort of Nate the Hate rumor mill. So there was there were things in here that I feel like we saw coming. But over 50 minutes of game stuff hosted by Yoshiaki Koizumi. And I guess before we dig into because we're going to go through this kind of game by game and just figure it out.
Yep.
What all was announced and revealed and updated on here. But curious how everyone is feeling. What's the temp check? How was this Nintendo Direct for you, Connor?
I think because of expectations and rumors that had floated by us all, I was more disappointed than I normally would have been. I think this maybe could have been a 7 or maybe at best 8 out of 10 for me as far as satisfaction, especially as someone who is mostly only watching these for first-party reveals.
Yeah.
Because of what we could have reasonably guessed might be in here, I felt let down.
Yeah, I will also say that overall I felt left down, let down, left out, left dissatisfied
Yes.
by the direct, um, uh, just because so much of it was, and I know this is a common thing, but like I felt like we were touching base on a lot of stuff we just already knew about outside of the rumor milling, right?
True.
That like, okay, sure, we'll check in on Splatoon Raiders again. Okay, great, we'll check in on Star Fox again. Okay, great, we'll check in on Rhythm Heaven again. And even like seeing more information about Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, I'm still kind of in the same place where I'm like, yeah, there's a new Fire Emblem game, and we got a date though, that's exciting. But yeah, I just kind of overall felt that like a lot of the like third party announcements that I was like, I'm not going to play that. Probably, I'm not going to play that on Switch too. Yeah, and just felt like weirdly paced and stuff like that. I will forever talk about a Ocarina of Time remake until it is in our hands. And I do think Nintendo Switch Sports Resort looks pretty fun, and is maybe a more exciting execution of that idea than Nintendo Switch Sports. Period. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I felt bummed out by this one. Mark,
Yeah, that's
how'd you feel?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I totally thought it was fine. I thought that the what's interesting about this direct to me is that it does all the things that Nintendo traditionally does in their June direct, which is hint at something that is coming the next year, which we got with the Xenoblade Chronicles game.
Yeah,
Or not Chronicles, Xenoblade, whatever, Genesis.
you're right.
So like they ticked that box. We got a little bit of information about a game that, you know, Ocarina of Time remake that is coming this year, but won't be fully blown out probably until the September direct.
Probably not.
You know,
Right.
and then so like if you look at like the calendar, like stuff that is coming to Switch 2, third party, first party, it's stacked. It's a stacked lineup, but we're all here for the Nintendo first party stuff.
Yeah.
And there were 3 unannounced games that were revealed here, right? There was Switch Sports Resort.
Yeah.
There was
Ocarina of
Time remake, and then Xenoblade Genesis. And that just feels like it. When the Switch 2 so far for me has been like, you know, the last Nintendo first party like Switch 2 exclusive that I bought was last July with Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like, I'm really hurting for Nintendo first party stuff.
Yeah.
And so when this didn't deliver on that front in the way that like you always have your hopes up for,
Yeah, of course.
it's disappointing. But I think like from like I was talking to people at work that are not tapped in like we are, and like Ocarina of Time remake is blowing people's minds.
Yeah, sure.
Right? And so it's like, so
See, I think there is a way that it in this direct could have blown my mind, and I just needed to see anything that wasn't simply confirming that it existed.
ooh, see, I think that they did it very strategically, because I think that they know that no matter what they decided to do for this remake,
Right.
it was not going to be universally beloved, right? Art style, like whatever direction they take it.
Yeah, sure.
And so I think that just like they announced the name of the Nintendo Wii before they like blew out the Nintendo Wii,
Yeah.
they had to, right? Because they didn't want, when they actually showed the Nintendo Wii at that E3, they didn't want the conversation to be all about,
Can you believe this is its crazy
this is
name?
called the
Yeah.
Nintendo Wii. And I think the same thing happened with Ocarina of Time, where they're like, all right, we're going to put it out there.
Let people know that it exists.
And that they like see Link.
Yeah.
And we can start having that like inevitable discussion about the art style. And then in September, when we're finally ready to like blow this thing out, we don't have to have that discussion anymore. That is not going to be the thing that is dominating. So I think, like, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think they did it strategically more than just like.
It sounds like they're protecting themselves, and I want them to protect me.
To your anecdote, Mark, about having people at work having their minds blown, I received at least 3 text messages from people who, in my life, who don't have a Nintendo Switch 2, who in so many words were saying, I'm going to get it to play this Ocarina of Time remake. And I'm sort of responding to them with more positivity than I was actually feeling.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
Only
yeah.
because I shared some of the sentiments you're sharing, Patrick, which were, oh, I still feel like I know absolutely nothing about what this actually is going to be. In the grand scheme of things, that really is okay. It's going to come. It's going to be like more will come to us information wise, like you're saying, Mark. But I couldn't help but just be honest about my own feelings and say I was a little disappointed and being like, yeah, I kind of. I know as much as I knew the day before.
Totally.
The only difference is that it was actually confirmed. I think I was
Right,
believing
right.
the rumors that turned out to be true, but yeah, so it's very interesting.
I would also say that there are what are probably for fans of different series megaton announcements in here of a sort. Xenoblade fans, I'm sure, excited about the new Xenoblade game and getting Switch 2 versions of all these games. If that was a series that I cared about like at all, I
Right,
think this would
right.
be, it would be like when the direct where they were like, and by the way, all these Final Fantasy games, like the Pixel remasters,
True.
7, 8, 9, 10, plus 10, 2, and 12, they're all coming to Switch. And I was like, yeah, cool, great, let's do that. But I'm not into Xenoblade Chronicles, so the announcement of the new game and the remasters of these falls a little flat for me. Also, like, we know they're going to make another Xenoblade game. Like, they're
Right.
on a pretty regular cadence at this point. So that, and then also Kingdom Hearts,
Yes.
right? And where we saw more Kingdom Hearts 4 than we've seen before. This is
Yeah.
the first time we've seen footage of it in like 3 years, 2 years, something like that.
I think I feel like it was 4 or 5, but I could be wrong.
It was sometime during like the COVID era,
Yes.
right? So getting that and getting the confirmation that it's going to be on Switch 2 the same day that it's on everything else, I'm sure very cool for Kingdom Hearts fans too.
I think you're right. Xenoblade fans, hyped. Kingdom Hearts fans, hyped. Fans of big hands, hyped.
Yes. Well, big thumbs in particular.
Big thumbs in particular.
Especially those thumbs.
And I love a big thumb.
Yeah. I love a green thumb. I'll just say it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I love that thumb. Those thumb movies that what's his name? Odenkirk. The guy that did Kung Pao Enter the Fist. They also did
Oh.
those like Thumb Wars movies.
Interesting.
Where like the characters are just like thumbs that he projects faces onto.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't think I know about this.
Well, I don't have enough information to tell you more about
They're
it, but that's basically it.
This is an adjacent point to what you were talking about, Patrick.
Yes.
But I think one thing I do want to bring up that I felt pretty positively about overall, or I was impressed about, was how robust the third-party support continues to be for this thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I'm not someone who plays or plans to play a lot of third-party games on my Nintendo console. Even this console, which, Mark, you can speak to how impressive these experiences have been, or not. But I think from what I've heard from you, you've been very impressed. So all this stuff that seems to be coming is very impressive.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's really impressive that, I mean, Capcom was all over this thing so much so that
It's
they
true.
like basically open the show and then they take a little break
And
and
then
then they're
they
like,
come back.
and then more Capcom
Right.
stuff. But yeah, I mean, like,
And Square Enix also is all over this.
yes, absolutely. But there's a number of like games that were shown at, like, we haven't even on the show had a chance to talk about like the Summer Games Fest, which in the past we would get like maybe a glancing, reference in a news episode, but there's a lot of stuff at Summer Game Fest that was either announced for Switch 2 or wasn't at the time and showed up in this direct as day and date with like other platforms, and that's a huge change from the Switch generation or the Wii U generation or the Wii generation. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah,
been a long
definitely.
time.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if we'll ever get like the we have a little bit about like how Resident Evil Requiem sold on Switch 2 versus it on other platforms, but like I'm just curious if that's going to prove to be like a worthwhile strategy for people releasing the games to like have these versions that are going to run on Switch 2. And I think we've talked about this before, that like the Xbox thing of like every new game that comes out needs to be playable on both the Series S and the Series X means that those sort of like performance sliders have to be built into all these games anyway. And so you just like crank it down a little bit more so that it's in line with the Switch 2 and it's fine. So yeah, there's obviously like something interesting economically happening there, and are they just expecting there to be enough Switch 2s on the market to actually sell these games too?
Yeah, well, and I would also guess that like the Switch 2 is still fairly new. Has sold what, like we'll say 20 million.
I'll look it up.
I mean, I think at their last fiscal earnings it was just under 20. So probably now it's just over 20. But, like, yes, Resident Evil sold, the estimates were by like 5% on Switch 2. But a new Resident Evil game hadn't been on a Nintendo platform in decades. And so I feel like you have to build that audience, right? And especially for Japanese developers like Square Enix, there's a really clear reason why Square Enix is going multi-platform, and it's because Nintendo has been dominating Japan. And so if you want to reach a Japanese audience, you kind of have to be on Switch and Switch 2.
Yeah, no, that's a really excellent point. And because so many of the developers that we are seeing represented here are the big Japanese developers, right? Like FromSoft.
Yeah.
So I didn't find it.
Well, I also
I'm
wonder
gonna
if it's a matter of like tooling as well. Like maybe it just happens to be that the RE engine and whatever Square Enix uses for their games is easier to scale than something like Frostbite, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
totally
some
possible.
Of the more, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just exciting that like some of the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Conner, a game that I know you played the heck out of, always felt to me like when I was playing it on PlayStation 5 as like a technically impressive, just huge game, and it's sort of shocking that it's now out on Switch 2, and that the sequel to it,
Which is supposed to be even bigger.
Is going to be out day and date on Switch 2 as well. So, yeah, I do think there is, like, I don't know why it makes me a little less excited to like see games announced for the Switch 2 that I'm probably going to play somewhere else. I don't know why that makes me less excited, but it does.
Less excited in what way?
Just when I see it in a direct.
Oh no, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
because you're like, hey, it's
tune
an
into
hour.
this,
It's an hour of. You want it to be an hour of Nintendo stuff.
Totally.
So that totally makes sense, right?
Yeah. I was on vacation.
I think as soon as the presentation began, I don't know if this is every proper Nintendo Direct that we get, but the fact that it didn't open with a first-party game or a reveal of a first-party game had me a little...
Well, it did technically open with
Rhythm
the first
Heaven.
thing
That's
was
true.
Rhythm Heaven Groove.
Right.
That's true.
But it wasn't it wasn't one of those like, because sometimes they're like before Koizumi shows up or something, they play a little trailer.
Yeah, like a cold open. Which is usually like a Capcom, like Monster Hunter DLC or something.
But they did not do that.
Yeah.
There was nothing like that. It was,
It had me
It was very
feeling
straightforward.
Like just uneasy and unsure.
Because you kind of think that like a presentation should start strong and it should end strong.
Yeah.
And like Rhythm Heaven looks fun.
I totally agree.
However, it's a game that we know is coming out already, and also it's a Switch 1 game.
We've seen a lot about it.
We've seen a lot about it. Let's start going through this thing, because I feel like we've done enough sort of table setting to talk about how Rhythm Heaven Groove, which is still coming out July 2nd. Pre-orders are available now. It's a $40 game. That's not a new price point for us. We knew that. Amazing that it's as cheap as it is. It's presented by Lil Miss Reeds, talking in a very Tomodachi Life
voice. I thought so too.
I played a fair amount of Tomodachi Life this weekend with my friends who were in town. And man, you can get those guys to say anything. But yeah, so it has 80 all new rhythm games, and there are they showed off a couple different modes, including this like RPG turn-based style battle thing where you're doing like different rhythms and button combinations to cast various spells. kind of cool.
Yeah, I wish it was clear how robust that was, right?
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
is that exactly?
Yeah, will it be a sort of arcade mode thing where you might have anywhere from, who knows, 5 to 10 battles and that's all it is, or is it more robust like you said?
Yeah. Are you like actually dungeon crawling? Are you like equipping different spells and like, building
Yeah.
different loadouts of little
Right.
rhythmic button presses? Like, is there any strategy involved in it, or is it like truly just a different way for it to present those style of mini games? Not clear.
Yeah, it remains to be seen.
There's also a 4-player competitive mode with a bunch of little like party games and stuff. They say over 30 cooperative and competitive games. Weird that they like went to pains here to be like, and it plays on Switch 2 as well.
Is it that weird when Tomodachi Life sold 40% of its copies on Switch 2? Like,
Yeah, I guess it's just interesting to me that that's something that they feel they still need to message. That like a Switch 1 game can also be played on Switch 2. That's all.
Yeah.
Because it is just a Switch 1 game. There is no Switch 2 version of it.
Yes.
right.
I don't know. Thoughts about Rhythm Heaven Groove?
Not honestly, not really. Like, looks fun, seems fine. I
Yeah.
like Rhythm Heaven games. It's cool that there is a new one. To me, the most notable thing about this is like, Nintendo didn't talk about any other Switch 1 games. There were third parties that are bringing Switch 1 games.
That's true.
But Nintendo isn't. So it's like, yeah, is Rhythm Heaven
This is probably the end of the
Groove-
road, yeah.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, until they do another thing like Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, right? Like something like that is like a deliberate kind of throwback.
Right.
That I think they'll still try to release as a Switch 1 game. But okay, moving on. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to I'm sure I registered this complaint before, but it is still true that I bought a pair of vouchers in order to buy Tomodachi Life and this, assuming that it was going to be a full price game, and now it's $20 less than that. So I will be. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Right. Or I guess you could just break even, right?
I could just break even.
Yeah.
And don't you hate breaking even?
I hate breaking even.
Patrick always wants to come out on top.
I do always want to come out on top. And actually, if you think about it, it means I would spend. No, is it? Were the vouchers $99.98 or $99.99?
I'm not sure.
Because
I
if it's
can't remember.
$99.99, it means I would have overspent by a penny.
Oh, there you go.
And I
The
won't
house
do
always
that.
Wins.
Yes,
the house
always wins. All right, and then we move into the they say here's a Switch 2 section. However, some of these games will also be on Switch 1, and we kick it off with the first of the Capcom games, of like the new Capcom games, Onimusha: Way of the Sword, which comes out September 25th. Pre-orders are live now. It's a $70 game. Thoughts on Onimusha: Way of the Sword?
I think this is it starts a string of very impressive looking third person action games for me that I probably wouldn't even be playing on a PS5, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's a little out of my style of game, but was still. This is what I think caused me to have that reaction earlier of being impressed by the support for this thing.
Yeah. Well, and Connor, I feel like Onimusha has come up on shows on your network recently.
Yes.
Because both Roxy and Jeremy are kind of freaks for that stuff.
Yes.
And like I know they're both excited about this new game coming out and are like interested in checking it out. It does seem cool, but it's just like kind of tonally not what I'm looking for in like an action game. I don't know, Mark, do you have any kind of reaction to this?
Like you, Connor, for me, it was mostly like, oh, wow, because this was shown off this was in the Summer Game Fest, like opening thing. No mention of a Switch 2 version. And it's like, oh, yeah, that is cool that it's coming day and date with the other stuff.
And of course includes an optional Joy-Con to like control mode where you're
motion
swinging the sword
controls.
around.
Yeah, there you
Who
go.
doesn't want that? The moves you can unlock with the motion controls.
It just it senses it becomes an extension of your body. You know.
I've never heard that before.
Next was Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen, which is sort of the like Dragon's Dogma with new DLC. This version of this game is going to be available on other platforms too, but it is an update of a game from a couple years ago, which is like a new release, sort of.
Yeah. Yes.
The DLC at the very least, the expansion is totally new.
Isn't the expansion of the first game also called Dark Arisen? Am I
Yeah,
making that up?
No, I think you're right. I think they know what they like.
Yeah.
When are we going to do Dark Arisen for this one? You explore the new land of Norgon. I don't know. I don't really understand Dragon's Dogma.
No.
But hey, Capcom again, doing that day and date thing. Speaking of none of those things, Stellar Blade was the next game on the list, coming out sometime this year. Character action and fast pace. It's Stellar Blade.
Yeah, this is the sequel for this was announced at Summer Game Fest.
Yes.
With no platforms or anything. And so I wonder if whenever that sequel, we get more details on that it will end up being on Switch 2 as well. Here's the weird thing for me about the Switch 2 generation is that I have spent, because I've essentially all the Switch generation, more or less, I was playing on Nintendo platforms. There were so many third-party games that happened in that PS4 generation,
right?
And up to a year ago, that I just paid zero attention to because I knew I was never going to play it.
Yeah.
But now that all of this stuff is coming on to Switch 2, not that I have any interest in playing Stellar Blade, but it's I have to kind of be aware of it. I kind of have to know about it.
You
now.
have to broaden your aperture.
Yes, exactly.
You can
in a way that I
consider
didn't
it
before.
whether or not you didn't have the option before.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. But fans of butts have a lot to look forward to in Stellar
And
Blade.
boobs.
Have a lot to look forward to.
Honestly, unfortunately, not for the thumb people.
We'll get to the thumb people. Don't worry. The thumb people are eaten. Next, we move on to Orbitals, which we're now seeing for the third or fourth time in Nintendo presentations. But we've got a date. This is the 2-player co-op. Looks like an 80s anime. It's coming out September 3rd. Pre-orders are available now for $40. Mostly just it's the release date that's new here.
Yeah.
It looks very fun. I've thought this since they first started advertising it. That's how I'm unique. I thought Orbitals looks fun, but there are a few games, this and Rhythm Heaven Groove, where I'm like, oh, I might be getting something that's not just Mario Kart World to enjoy with other people for this console.
Totally.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, and because it has game share as well, it's game share enabled, that you can do. If you don't want to do a split screen, that you can do these things, locally on your own screen, or although it's probably always you're seeing both screens, right?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
And you can share it with a Switch One. So
Yeah,
I love that feature.
it's so neat. I have yet
you
to
ever
do
used it?
Not once.
No, me either.
But I love
that it exists.
Yeah.
the idea of it, Mark.
They show off a little bit of a rhythm game thing, some side-scrolling stuff. It looks like there's more to this game than just what we had seen previously, which makes sense because we'd only seen a couple seconds at a time.
Yep.
Moving on, the next game up is Rayman Legends Retold, which has also shown up at other showcases. Yes,
I think so. Yeah. Connor, what's your temperature on the Rayman series in general?
Lukewarm to positive. I have some nostalgic feelings about some of the earlier games, but I unfortunately missed both Rayman Legends and Origins. That people apparently like both.
I played a fair amount of Origins and liked it. I assume that this is also going to be fun.
It sure seems like it.
Platforming, action kind of stuff.
I've heard that the art style is different than it was before.
Oh, and is that a point of...
I heard both things depending on the podcast I was listening
Yes.
to. Some people were positive on the more, even though it's still a 2D side scroller for the most part, with the exception of one type of section in the game. That there are 3D models in place of I think what were 2D hand-drawn characters. So depends on the person.
Very good.
They make a point of saying that it has a revamped Kung Foot mode.
Yes.
So I had to look that up. It's apparently like soccer.
Yes,
Okay.
It's like a
It's like a
karate
multiplayer,
soccer.
Wait, where does the karate part come from?
I'm just from the Kung part.
Yeah.
Because it's Kung
Yeah.
Foot, right?
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know what the ball is.
It looks like it's a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think it's just soccer. I don't know if there's any. Anyways,
It's Pong with more parts.
That's right.
That's right.
That is exactly what it is. So anyway, Rayman remake that is coming out October 1st. Then we move on to Big Walk. We've seen Big Walk before, yeah?
I don't know if I've seen it in a Nintendo presentation,
I
but
don't
we
think
have
so.
seen it.
I don't think we've seen it in a Nintendo presentation.
From the people who did Untitled Goose Game, which means I don't know. Is that a game that we need to get and lend out as like our Sonic Forces borrowing program,
Ooh.
which then eventually also included a copy of Untitled Goose Game?
This looks like it could be really fun.
Mm-hmm. Like a co-op, just sort of like exploring a space and messing with your friends is what it seems like.
Yep.
There's a lot of charm to this game, it seems.
Yeah. And cross-platform play, which for something like this I think is really important.
I think so. Yeah.
That like this would be a thing that you could play with your friends from college who are elsewhere in the country, and because they've got something that can play it. So probably. Next up, One Piece Grand Gourmet coming out on Switch 1 and Switch 2, October 23rd. I don't know. Does anyone have Connor? You got a response to One Piece Grand Gourmet?
I do not.
Like pixel art based,
Yes.
which is a little strange for One Piece, not an art style I associate with either the manga or anime. But I don't know. Here it is. It's a game where you cook stuff.
Yeah, I have never seen or read anything like One Piece related, so it's not a series I'm familiar with. And I know it ran a really long time, but they're like over 400 One Piece characters. My God,
Yeah.
it's a lot of characters.
It's been going for a while.
Yeah.
Do you think there are more One Piece characters or Batman characters?
Ooh.
Oh,
I'll guess One Piece.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess. I would guess One Piece
Can
too.
you guess One Piece as well?
Yeah.
But there are just a lot of people in Batman.
That's true.
I mean, we're not counting like every citizen of Gotham City, right?
I think you have to.
If they've been named, maybe.
They've been named,
Yes.
maybe. Yeah.
If they've been named or depicted in any way.
Yes.
Or
Depicted
referred
in any
to
way?
as like the people
Oh,
of Gotham.
Well, that's everybody that's in
Not
Gotham.
Bat-
then.
Okay, that's a lot of people. Then.
Okay, so
more
then
than 400.
so then Batman probably wins.
think you're
Yeah,
right.
probably more than 400.
Then we move on to Pokemon Pokopia updates. This was expressed very strangely because they're like, there's a free update coming to Pokemon Pokopia whereby you can use the dive ability to explore the underwater worlds. Also, and that's coming soon. Also, there's the DLC pack that you can buy right now. The first content from that will be available in August. So you could buy the DLC pack right now. It will do nothing for you other than it will unlock in 3 separate waves. Bubbly Basin, which sounds like it's a new area to explore, like a new city to build out. That'll be out in August. And then part 2 comes out later this year sometime, date non-specific, that includes additional new features. But not specifically not a new area. And then part 3 has an additional new town, and that'll come out sometime in 2027. I'm excited for Pokemon Pokopia to have new content. Other than them like showing what the that there is underwater stuff, I felt like they didn't show us much of what like the DLC is going to be, and it's a little. I think it sucks a little bit to ask for money now before any of the content is shown.
I see, yes.
I feel like it's a classic Nintendo move though, because they've done the same thing with a lot of expansion passes in the past,
Especially for Pokemon.
and with like Split. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And with like Splatoon, like with Splatoon 3, you didn't
Sure.
really know what you were getting.
What side order was going to be.
side order was going to be.
Could you buy it before like Inkopolis was like released? Like could you buy it when it was literally nothing?
Yeah, that I don't know.
Or like where you knew it as literally
Right.
nothing. Yeah. It's very strange.
Yeah.
It's also kind of expensive DLC. It's $35
Oh, wow.
for what is already a $70 game. So if you want the full experience of Pokemon Pokopia, it's going to be $105.
Like, they may deliver like great fun and value for your dollar, but
Yeah.
I think to your point, yeah, being kind of in the dark about what most of that is feels a little stinky, a little slimy.
it
Not
feels a little stinky.
maybe slimy. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Um,
So I mean, not just because of the algae underwater either.
no, but there's so much algae underwater.
So
You're gonna slip on
much.
the rocks.
My gosh, use that as a material.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you can use everything.
Kind of felt like a threat when I said it.
It's when you said use that as material, I was like, for my stand-up? What are you talking about?
Yeah, just have at it.
Yeah, it's I will play whatever else they add to Pokemon Pokopia because I love that game. I know that there was a like leak or data mine or something of Pokopia that hinted at up to 4 additional areas that are like programmed into the game is ready to recognize 4 new areas. This wave of DLC is only throughout its 3 parts, only advertising 2. So is there going to be another set of $35 Pokemon Pokopia DLC? Am I paying for this game twice?
I think you are.
I think
Yep.
it's possible. But shall we move on? Oh, yeah, and the trailer ends with Manphy swimming by. Do you know Manphy, Connor?
I do now because I saw the Pokemon and now I'm putting a name to a face.
Yes.
But not outside of that.
It's it's a mystical water type from Gen 4, and it's the last entry in the Sinnoh Pokedex. So the like Diamond and Pearl generation. So it's they're teasing something specific with that.
Okay.
But I am not a Pokemaner, so I can't really speak to what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shall we move on to Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave?
Yes.
Yes.
Let the games begin.
Oh yeah, I'd say we let the games begin. We get our first real look at like the map of this world of the main characters. We're in the Dagdin Empire, capital of Daxian, which seems like it's just this enormous city where they are constantly doing heroic games, which is to say like gladiatorial combat of some kind. What's your read on because we meet the 4 characters, Callie, who is like a young... Kai, who's a young man who's trying to save his imprisoned father by participating in the games. Dietrich, who is a legendary swordsman who's seeking stronger foes. Theodora, who is a queen of some faraway land who's trying to like fulfill some dream for her homeland. And then Lita, who is a musician who is out for revenge. And they each have like their own special techniques, and throughout the course of the game you're recruiting people to help you something. It's a little unclear to me how like the gladiatorial games translate into the like Fire Emblem skirmishes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But it seems like it's a 4-path game, right? That like you choose a starting character and then like go on there.
So I don't think you're playing as those characters. I think there is like an avatar character, like a Byleth, and you are choosing which one of those 4 characters to be your champion. Like
got it.
But I think similar to Three Houses,
right?
Where you are not playing as those 4. You are playing as John Q. Public.
Yeah,
and you're like hitching your horse to one of those 4, then you could play through that and then go back and play through like a different champion.
And presumably have like a different experience of like the events of that stuff. Like Three Houses.
Yes.
So 4 houses.
I think it is 4 houses, which is super exciting to me.
Yes.
Because I love Three Houses. And any other Fire Emblem game that I've picked up other than Three Houses, I'm like, oh, this is not for me. So to go back to that sort of like formula where they talk about like you get to choose how to spend your time, just like
between the battles. Yeah,
exactly. Just like at the monastery, it was a school. This doesn't seem like it has like that school trappings, but you still have options to like train, recruit allies for unknown like mystery purposes, or go on adventures outside the city.
Right. And that go on adventures outside the city seems like a complicated map of icons and options and stuff, right? I mean, Connor, you were having a little bit of a Fire Emblem moment earlier this year.
I sure was, along with you.
Yes. How are you feeling now that you've seen what you've seen about Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave?
I am not sure. It's not a foregone conclusion that I'm going to get this when it comes out.
Yeah.
I think my excitement could grow by that point and just be like, you know what? I know I love modern Fire Emblem. Why don't I just do it? But I unfortunately, this is how I feel about so much of what I saw in this presentation, which is a lot of it looks so good. Like this game looks like it could have something special going on, but I don't think I'm I'm not hot now. I could be hot
Yeah,
later.
yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it is. I don't know. I feel like always this feels like a Fire Emblem that doesn't have a or we don't know what like the hook of it is.
Yeah, I think that's true. We
Yeah.
don't have an easy hook like for Three Houses. It was like the school stuff, right?
Right,
And
and
then
engage is
for
like
Engage-
summoning the heroes from previous games.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like Fortune's Weave, it is less clear what exactly the hook is.
I guess at least the beginning of that is this sort of gladiator game setup that we have, but is that
the game though, or
I have a feeling that it's not.
yeah, because like
That'll be set up more than if anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
like so they as they're like explaining the way the game works and you're spending your time and recruiting people and whatever, it's showing you all the stuff that seems like it is connected to these gladiatorial games, and then the talking, like the explanations stop, and then seemingly a new trailer starts that is just like story mode stuff, and this is where we start to bring in it might be Sothis, it may not be the sort of like green-haired like head of the church from Three Houses, who like appears. There is someone saying that this is the advent of the underworld, a like heroic warrior character with one angel wing like appears. There's like something, obviously there's a turn here that's going to happen that is going to be less about fighting in an arena and more about protecting the world of light from demons or whatever, as usually happens at some point in a Fire
Yes.
Emblem game. But it's interesting that they are showing that but not really like talking about it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as we are tracking price points on things, this is a $70 game digitally or an $80 game physically.
And so this is the first time since
Yes.
Nintendo of America announced that digital games would be discounted compared to physical games that we've hit this price point. That it
Yes.
like $80, that is Mario Kart World.
Yeah, I mean it is also a lot of these Switch 2 editions, right?
That's true.
It's also Super Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV, which is a bad price for that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's it kind of a bummer that like this is the world we live in. But they're also selling a Dagden edition, Dagden Collection Edition, whatever it's called, which is $120. I did place my pre-order for this because I know that I'm gonna want it.
Yes.
I
thought of you as soon as I saw it.
Yeah. I did have a little panic moment when it was sold out on Nintendo, and thankfully Mark pointed me to it being available
and
elsewhere.
you know that this game is going to get DLC down the road. Like, that if you want the complete experience, it will end up being another like $35, $40 or something. But
that's interesting because the Engage DLC was announced before that game came out.
oh, you're right, it was.
But maybe not the Three Houses stuff. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? We're in a new era here.
But I do think I mean, it's an exercise in futility because there's no way to know for sure. But like before the new world of Nintendo of America's pricing, would this have been $70 physical and digital,
Right.
or would this have been $80 physical and digital?
Yeah. Because 80 is like an acceptable price for like a game that they're viewing as like a high value, like must play Nintendo game.
I mean, Mario Kart World is the
Only one,
example
yes,
that
that
we've
isn't-
seen of that. That isn't a Nintendo Switch
Yeah.
2 edition. And I know that there was a lot of discussion before this that like, oh, there's gonna be like DLC or something for Mario Kart World. I don't think there is. I think Mario Kart World is what it is, and that's why it's $80 for the same way that Tears of the Kingdom was $70.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's right.
Which is, for me, I think this would have been before the pricing split. This would have been $70 digital and physical
across the board. Yeah,
But now,
it's right charging more for the physical.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder when it's just so funny because like another one of the like new first party games that we're going to be talking about in a little bit, the Switch Sports Resort, is another like weirdly priced one, another like super low price.
I feel like it's a discussion that will never have a satisfying resolution
Yes.
because like
but we will keep having.
no, we will because who knows what they're gonna do with Ocarina of Time remake, right?
Right. $100.
I mean, I guess if it's like 90-80, then we maybe can divine something a little bit more from that.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess,
But-
but that's what it will take. It will take there being a 90-80 game for us to be
Yeah.
like, yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, onward and upward.
Yes.
Next up was okay. And I realized I've been saying the name of this game incorrectly not my entire life, since the first one came out. It's not Ninjala, it's Ninjala,
Yes, I have the same realization as you.
like Angela.
Which makes sense because of how you pronounce the word ninja, but I still hate it.
Yes, I also hate it. Ninjala 2, The Uncharted Planet comes out spring 2027.
The first part of Ninjala 2, The Uncharted Planet. They make a point of
Yes.
saying, yeah.
And I know you have some like extra notes here about like
Well,
contextually
only
that
be-
Ninjala is like a larger franchise than we may.
Then I certainly
Yeah.
realized so the original launched in 2020 on Switch continues to be a Switch exclusive. They're saying that this is going to be a Switch 2 exclusive, and it's still going. It apparently reached 10 million downloads. It's free to start. 10 million downloads as of February 2023. Has an anime in Japan that's been running since 2022. So like hundreds of episodes. I confuse this with Foam Stars,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
Square Enix's Splatoon's ripoff.
Which I believe is dead and buried. At this
I
point.
think
Yeah.
that's true, and never came to a Nintendo platform. Was
Right.
like PlayStation. This is not that. Apparently, this is just one of those things that exists and is incredibly popular, and that I just have zero experience with.
Foam Stars was foam. Ninjala is gum.
Right.
Right, Ninja Gum
Did
specifically.
you ever forget that distinction?
Yeah.
Yes.
I never will.
Yeah. Not after this.
Not
trailer.
after this.
It is weird that I mean that. Speaking out my butt. But the first game is like a multiplayer online, like squad based, like competitive thing, right? Like Splatoon.
I don't know
I
that
think-
it is anymore. Do you know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
interesting,
Like
yeah.
I think it could be like Fortnite, where Fortnite when it
Yeah.
launched versus Fortnite now is like basically unrecognizable.
Right.
Like I think it's very possible that Ninjala has overgone the same sort of like transformation.
totally
where they're
possible.
Constantly, because I think it's a live service game. That's why I think that they're saying the first part of Ninjala 2,
gotcha.
the Uncharted Planet, because it's like, hey babies, this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this thing is built to last.
What's interesting to me is that like they're setting this in. They're like you're separated from the world of Ninjala. That like, but it's still a 4-player game, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not a like single player adventure. Like my instinct was like, oh, is this kind of their Splatoon Raiders? But it seems like no, it's kind of just like another setting for
Okay.
Ninjala. As far as I can tell, I don't know.
Right.
We don't really know anything about this.
And I bet we will never know.
I
The
bet
three
we
of us
never
will
will.
never know.
Yeah.
No.
And we don't have to wear that as a badge of pride, but we do. Okay, next up is DK Challenge.
One of the most peculiar things in this whole presentation, I thought.
I will agree, but it's still a thing that made me excited
Yeah.
when it popped up. So what it is, so it's a limited time NSO event, which is live now and through the beginning of September. And-
Just on Switch 2.
Yes. And what it does is it presents discrete challenges from the Donkey Kong Country and just Donkey Kong games in general that are already available on NSO, the classics libraries, and like serves them up to you. And if you defeat the challenge, you get like a digital collectible card. Also, if you own Donkey Kong Bonanza, it will engage challenges from Donkey Kong Bonanza as well, as you're kind of going through them. And in my brain, I'm like, oh, this is Nintendo World Championships : Donkey Kong edition, right? Or like an NES remix, but for the Donkey Kong games. And it is really not that at all. All of the classic game challenges are just, they put you in one of the levels and you beat that level.
Yeah, that's so disappointing.
Yes.
Because I think theoretically this is a really good idea. Like, this is really smart to be like, hey, you are paying for Nintendo Switch Online.
Right.
there is all of this content that you're probably not engaging with regularly. Let's give you an incentive to be like, wow, I'm really getting value out of having this Nintendo Switch Online subscription because I'm like participating in this thing. I'm playing games I wasn't playing regularly. I'm like using this classic game library that I usually never touch. But to have it just be, do you remember when they did SP versions of games?
Yes.
In the early days of NSO?
Yeah.
Like to have it just be defeat the Minecart Madness level of Donkey Kong Country.
Right. Play Jungle
is, like,
Japes.
yeah.
Play Bramble Blast. Like, and those are good levels from the game, but like I almost wanted to be like, play this level and get all the secrets. Play this level and collect all the Kong letters.
Right. Dixie's in this, like,
if we can do
Donkey Kong-
remix stuff, that would be awesome.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But even if just the challenges were more specific, like they are
Yes.
in NES or Nintendo World Championships,
Yeah.
because that game does such a good job of being like, here are the interesting moments from the game, and that makes me want to play those games. And I played through all the challenges on the classic side this afternoon. It took me 20 minutes, and I had fun. But then it was over, and I was like, no, I'm not going to think about Donkey Kong games again.
Right.
And also, man, they make you play Donkey Kong Land 1, and the physics in that game are bad. Donkey Kong falls too fast. He doesn't jump high enough. It's weird. But this is a thing where I was like, it seems so cool. There's so much potential here. But it is really just another way for them to like drive you to the games on NSO.
They're an exclusion that could be a part of this is Donkey Kong 64, which is now on NSO for the N64 the
Yes.
expansion pack. So maybe it's something where they're like, well, we can't guarantee someone's going to have the expansion pack,
Right.
so we can't make that a part of it. Or
But
But
Donkey
they
Kong
can't
Bonanza.
Yes, they can't guarantee that you have Bonanza.
that's very true. So then also, does Bonanza need to be in your Switch or
Yes.
like for it to work if you have a physical copy?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, and then it makes me think the DK64 of it all that there wasn't really a plan to release that at a specific time.
Right.
If it wasn't included
Yeah.
here, or it's a conclusion I'm drawing, but I'm not sure.
My hope is that this is like a
pilot for
pilot,
Yeah.
and so it's like let's just try it. Let's just see what the reaction is like, and then if it's successful, maybe that we can do something more than that. I hate this. Feels like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, well, am I just jaded because I played Donkey Kong Country when I was a kid, so I've been playing these games forever.
Sure.
And so, like, I feel this way about the Ocarina of Time remake announcement as well, where it's like, I'm tapped in. Like, I knew this thing was coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that, of course, colors my reaction to it. But I wonder if, like, I mean, it's impossible to say. But I would be curious if people who aren't as familiar with Donkey Kong Country, or the Donkey Kong Country games, if they find more joy in being directed to those individual levels because it's a newer experience to them rather than, do you know what I mean?
Well, and it's not just Donkey Kong Country. So there are the levels from the
Donkey Kong 3?
Well, yeah, you do have to do one Donkey Kong 3 level.
Wow.
I'll see. Okay, I'm doing
there's-
God's work.
Yeah, there's one Donkey Kong Jr. level. There are two like original Donkey Kong levels. Mario versus Donkey Kong. You have
Donkey
to do a
Kong
level
Jr.
of
math.
that. You do have to do Donkey Kong Jr. math. Yep.
Okay.
So like it's a comprehensive tour through the Donkey Kong games that are on NSO besides Donkey Kong 64. Yeah, so like there is, and like the digital like trading cards or collectible cards, whatever, is interesting, but it is and they keep like as they show them to you on the screen or as you're viewing them, they're like, take a screen grab so you can share it with your friends. But it's like, well, can't you like, I don't know, like give me like they're so close to there being like an achievement system,
Yeah.
here
Right.
that this is like representative of, and that's just built into how the PlayStation, how your profile works over there or on Xbox. And, I check in on what like my friends have been playing. It's a thing that I like to do, or like someone will pop up on my thing and I'll see that, like Connor's playing the GameCube or, whatever
Yeah.
on NSO. And that's fun. I like seeing Mark's playing James Bond, if a little thing could pop up and be like, Mark got all the trading
Right.
cards, you know, like
Or you go to that somebody's profile and like
And
trophies
they're on there,
or
yeah.
achievements, like they're there. Yeah, that it feels like all stuff that hopefully they would like eventually do. I think it's interesting that it's limited time.
yes.
That it's like a limited event. I think it's interesting that it's Donkey Kong. Why? I wonder why Donkey Kong versus Mario for like Mario's 40th anniversary, like
Sure.
part of like that
Or
celebration.
Zelda for Zelda's 40th
Or Zelda.
anniversary. Yeah.
I also think it's interesting that this is the second time in just a couple of months that they've done these like digital collectible cards for doing something. Because they
Yeah.
did the similar thing for the Super Mario Galaxy movie in the Nintendo Today app. And you could
Oh.
even, when you went to the movie theater, you would claim like a special card because you were at a theater. And that was the only time that those cards were available. So they're clearly like,
Yeah, they're thinking about it.
they're thinking about it. But it all feels like first draft stuff, and
Yeah.
you want it to come out a little more
Right.
like fully formed, a little more
Yes.
like fully
Yes.
integrated.
yeah.
And that's just not been the way that they've operated. Like, think how long it took to get like a Nintendo Switch Online app.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like,
right.
and even that is kind of like painful. It's not a particularly great experience.
Well, and like, it's just, I mean, I feel, you know, a trophy or achievement system is always like sort of leading into like a hollow goal, right? Where it's like, it doesn't really matter if you have those things or not. But like these cards feel especially hollow.
You know, the interesting thing is that like it does matter to those sort of collectible things. I think are not for everybody.
Yeah.
But for the people who care about that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, it's incredibly like sticky, right?
True.
Yeah,
And so
true.
like, but I just feel like why spend? I don't know. All of it feels a little like half baked to me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That said, I got all of the classic cards. I'm gonna get all the Bonanza
Yes,
cards.
you did.
So I don't know. This is something that like is conceptually so cool to me. I just wish
Yeah.
that they were being a little bit more like engaged with the display or like your bragging rights around like having the cards, and we're just more involved in like making the challenges interesting.
I also wonder if part of it is like they I don't have data to back this up, but I think Nintendo Switch other than to say Nintendo Switch Online subscriptions, I think are pretty stagnant. That
Yeah,
they
sure.
are not like growing necessarily, and that it's. I wonder if there's an initiative within Nintendo to be like, how do we, with the assets that currently exist,
Right. How do we create the appearance of more value? Yeah.
Yeah, so people feel like they're getting more out of it. So to drive more subscriptions without having to put a lot of like development resources behind it, because
They're running out of consoles. or,
exactly
like,
there's
have
only
sort of
so
run out of
many
them
virtual
already.
consoles,
Yeah.
and that's the big selling point. And
They've already done Virtual Boy. Like
Right.
the Hail Mary play has already.
Nintendo Music
Yes.
is out there. I mean, it's so.
Yeah.
But they are gonna have to keep inventing stuff
Yeah.
to keep people subscribed, because once you have Nintendo Music, people aren't, it's like you take it for granted.
Yes,
You're not
right.
like, so I think it'll just be really interesting to see. There is of course that like Nintendo Switch Online game test thing that is kind of looming out there in
Right,
the background.
yes.
That feels like something that is cooking to be
It'll
like,
land at some point.
yes,
Yeah.
as like here's
Or maybe
another
it won't.
reason to be
Yeah.
subscribed. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is interesting that this was the like sole NSO pitch from this direct, right? The last time we had a Nintendo Direct in September is when they were like, Virtual Boy's coming, and then prior to that, in the lead up to the Switch 2 was like GameCube is coming. So they were missing a big NSO announcement, and this is sort of like taking its place.
Yeah.
I think.
I think you're right.
Related to the Donkey Kong stuff, we got more Emerald Rush limited time events that are all timed or themed around the Super Mario Brothers 40th anniversary collection, to include a Mario and Luigi outfit for DK and Pauline.
Pauline with a mustache, it's good.
Pretty cute.
It's very good.
It's very good. And also wearing just a big green hat.
Yep.
And Donkey Kong dressed as Mario. Perfect.
Also great.
Why have
Great.
we not always
Yes.
done this? there are 4 waves of the Emerald Rush events. I don't really know what that means.
So it's similar to the Donkey Kong challenge stuff.
Mhm.
It's not all happening at the same time.
Gotcha.
You know how like for the Emerald Rush they have of discrete events where it's like
Right.
between these dates there's this statue. A similar thing is happening here where it's like there's going to be 4 different events and there might be like a little break between them. But
Yeah.
it similarly runs seemingly through September.
I got to get back into Emerald Rush.
I know I've got to
That
get
mode's
in to
so
get
good.
get these costumes,
Oh, well,
especially
yeah.
if, like you can earn them, so you have them all the time.
That's pretty good.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's true.
I would
know,
assume
or,
you would, yeah.
Replay that whole game with Mario.
Exactly,
Mario's outfit.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But so anyway, that's the first wave of that is available now. So that pivoting off of first party stuff for a little bit here, from the makers of Vampire Survivors, and as we're all taking notes, we're like, Vampire Survivors. What's the name of the
Crawlers.
Crawlers? Nope, that's not what this is. This is a Jujutsu Kaisen Rumble game called Survivaton.
I think that's right. Yeah.
It is it's a like competitive Vampire Survivors like.
It's like city trials in Kirby Air Riders. Like,
Yes. What a
spend-
great point.
You spend
Yes.
15 minutes
Yeah.
on the map by yourself, like earning points on your own map, and every 100 points you earn, they're like new what they call rules
Yeah.
that can either be buffs for you or like bad things that you can send to your opponents. And then at the end of it, the 2 players with the top scores go head to head with like everything that they've earned. So yeah.
I mean, it looks and sounds a lot like Vampire Survivors, just with a Jujutsu Kaisen coat of paint on it.
What is that?
It's an anime thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've heard it before.
Hey, Connor, me too. But like that's a great game. Or Vampire Survivors is a great game that could always use like more modes or more ways to engage with what is already like a super satisfying loop. And these sorts of like turning it into competitive, earning different rule sets for the final battle at the end is super compelling.
Yeah.
I've got no connection to the IP here, but I do like Vampire Survivors. So.
Yes.
Moving on to Lords of the Fallen 2 coming out this fall.
I think the only thing notable for me on this is that this was another one of those. Oh, no. This one was revealed at Gamescom in 2025, but I think it was shown off at the Summer Game Fest. Again, not revealed to be on Switch, but this is the first time the series is on Nintendo. I think it's releasing the same time as the other platforms.
Wow.
So just another
One of
example
those,
a third
yeah.
party, yeah.
And then another like complete edition of like a port of a game from a couple years ago. Lies of P Complete Edition is coming out August 6th. It's a $70 game. And it includes the Overture prequel expansion. The date that I threw out there is for the digital version. There's a physical version coming out in October.
I feel like I think this game is supposed to be good.
It
I feel like
is supposed to be good.
but it feels like a huge miss to me that his nose appears to not grow any longer. Like that is not a weapon of any kind.
Yeah, he also doesn't look wood to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He looks like skin.
He looks like skin.
He looks like skin to me.
He looks like skin to me, but he's supposed to be Pinocchio.
Well, he's P. I don't know what
Pinocchio.
that means.
Moving on, Capcom's back. Devil May Cry 5 Devil Hunter Edition comes out June 23rd, very soon. Pre-orders are open now, and it's $39.99, but it is on sale until the end of July for 25% off that. So if you are interested in Devil May Cry 5 on Switch 2, you can get it for $30 now. So.
And this one, interestingly, I think is just digital. I don't think they have any plans to release it physically.
I saw that at the end of the trailer. It says like digital edition. And for the most part, when they've done a like physical and digital later, that they
call it out.
They call it out.
Do you have any, Connor? What is your like history with Devil May Cry? Is it a series that you care about?
I've never met Dante, not once.
Not once?
But wasn't it? This came up on the Resident Evil 4 Remake Games Club. Wasn't this originally a Resident Evil spin-off of sorts?
I mean, it sort of started life that way. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then developed into something completely different.
Totally different.
Yes. Never played one though.
I've messed around with a handful of these games, and like the reviews for Devil May Cry 5 when it first came out, like sort of had me being like, oh, I should maybe check back in with this, but didn't. So I don't know. This may be a chance for that. And again, 25% off, $30 is a good price for something like this. Moving on to Muramasa, the Revenant Blades from Vanillaware. Mark, thank you for the added context of what this is, because the trailer was not offering any of this information.
Yeah, I thought it seemed familiar, and it kind of is, because I remember it from the Wii days. So this was originally released on the Wii, or a game called Muramasa was originally released on the Wii, and then it was remade with additional content once before for the Vita. And then this is a remake of that remake, but now, with like high definition, redrawn high definition graphics.
Yeah.
New gameplay options, new localization with English and Japanese voice acting, like all that kind of stuff. But this one is coming to Switch 1 and Switch 2.
Yes.
Early 2027.
Okay.
No reason the Wii remake of a Wii game shouldn't be able to run on Switch 1. Now, clocking back in with first-party stuff, Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3 getting Switch 2 editions. Mark, help us contextualize all of this. I've been talking a lot. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're saying 40 frames per second and 4K in TV mode.
60 frames per second.
60 frames per second, sorry. And then full HD on handheld, enhanced cutscenes, new content. They specifically call out high-speed vehicles in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, Blade Mercenary Squad battles. Somebody tell me what that means in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And then wave battles, think like Horde mode in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Plus more for each game, more to be detailed later.
And there are bullet points for each game of like this, and this. And
I just could not be
also
bothered
in the
to write it
weeds.
down.
Yes.
So the Xenoblade Chronicle Definitive Edition, Switch 2 Edition.
An all-time great title. Double edition in there. It's a mwah.
The digital version and the upgrade pack. So if you own the Switch version, you can buy the Switch 2 Edition upgrade pack. Are available now.
Yes.
The physical version comes out on July 30th. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 digital version is
hold
out
on.
on July 30th. Go ahead.
As far as I can tell, the physical versions of the Switch 2 games, the Switch 2 editions, are also $70.
Interesting.
So they are not doing different pricing for at least to my Googling about this.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, the physical version of it will be available July 30th, which is the same day that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Switch 2 edition comes out digital.
Right, but you have to wait till October 1st for physical.
Right.
But then
by 3, they've got it figured out.
By 3, everything's in order. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 comes out December 3rd for both.
Now,
are they going to trick you into buying these?
No. Well, the upgrade packs? Possibly. Because I own 1 and 2.
Okay.
I do not own 3. And they do, like, the games do genuinely look quite a bit cleaner and sharper with these Switch 2 versions. Or at least that's what it looked like to me. If they were doing this with, like, it's just, I'm so far outside it that like seeing all the information about like, okay, here are the changes that we're making here and here and here, and here's the timeline for this, and this. I just like kind of gloss over.
I know the amount of information.
Staggering.
It really feels like it's like for fans only.
Yeah.
It feels impenetrable for somebody who is not already into those 3 games to be like, for what purpose would I be interested in this?
Right.
But maybe that's what Genesis is supposed to do, right? It's like, hey, it's a whole new beginning.
Yes.
You don't have to be invested in any of like the stuff that we just talked about. Here's a whole new game.
If none of those 3 worked for you, if X didn't work for you,
right?
Maybe Genesis.
Maybe Genesis, which is the next game that's up here. Then they just have as coming out next year. They showed a trailer for it, and it's seemingly we're in like early enough days with where that game is that the trailer was all in Japanese.
Yeah, that is an interesting choice.
And it is talky, right? Like it's one of those. It's a classic RPG trailer thing where like people are talking nonstop throughout
Yeah,
it.
it's
You're
just
like,
non sequiturs.
I have no
Yes.
concept of what you guys are talking
Race
about.
to the tower against my will, you fiend.
We can't let the dragon turn into the winged dragon.
Yeah, it is exactly that kind of thing for like a minute, but it's all in Japanese. Yeah, wherever they are in the process, that part wasn't ready for the trailer. As Mark, you already called out, Koizumi refers to it as a new beginning for the series, and it is pointedly like a non-sci-fi expression of this universe. It seems very medieval. People
Yeah.
have swords. We're seeing castles. Nary a robot in sight.
Yeah, and the character designs I would say are much more that we saw were much more like reserved than I feel like you normally get from a Xenoblade Chronicles game.
One of those characters still swinging her hips, though. Like, it's still
Sure,
they still got that juice.
I mean, it's still
the
the
movement
series.
is intact.
Yes, yeah, that's right. I don't know. Does the existence of a Xenoblade Genesis, which is also they dropped the Chronicles from this,
Right.
does what that game looks like? Does that change or sort of like normal your like base level immediate dismissal of Xenoblade Chronicles as a game you might play?
I think Xenoblade being in there just has me in the same spot I'm always at. Where I feel like on paper this should be something for me, and it just never has been.
Yeah,
But that's because I've never given it a shot, to be fair.
they are
Yes.
weird games to engage with, though. Like a lot of the combat is like move your guys near the enemy and watch them go.
Reminiscent of Final Fantasy 12.
Sure,
That sort of gambit system, is that what it's called?
it is. That is what it's called.
That's
in
what
12,
it
yeah.
appears to be a comparison that I can draw, at least.
Yeah, and I think that might be right.
But I do think that for me, honestly, the fact that it is seemingly like Xenoblade Genesis, not part of the Chronicle series, not a sequel, like anything like that, it's at least an opportunity for me to reevaluate,
Totally,
where
yeah.
it's like, maybe it doesn't look that different. It still seems
Sure.
like, but like you said, it's early days. So in that way, I do think it feels like a reset. But I would say the odds of me and picking it up are probably like pretty low because, like you guys, Xenoblade is just not a series that I've ever really felt compelled to engage with.
Yes.
Currently, it's the only. No, not true. I was going to say the only game we know coming out from Nintendo in 2027. Pokemon Winds and Waves will also come out in 2027. So if those are the only two games, Mark, and you got to choose one,
I guess Pokemon.
It's
Not that hard.
He's going surfing.
next up is Nintendo Switch Sports Resort. We're going back to Woohoo Island, baby.
Woohoo!
It's
Yes.
interesting to me that this is one that you were like, oh, cool, because I was like, I cannot believe we're doing this again.
I
can't believe it because the Nintendo Switch Sports sold like 19 million copies, but
here's the thing with Nintendo Switch Sports, which is a game that I think is cool and interesting. That it is trying for such a different, like the way it queues up those games for you to play is a lot more kind of like randomized and based on doing like these online things. Like the bowling in that is like an elimination bowling. It's you and 30 other players bowling a couple frames, and then after a certain number, like half of you get cut, and then like again and again and again. And so like the whole thing is about that, and this does not look like it is based on like playing online. It's a lot more just like Wii Sports Resort.
Yes. Local.
Yeah.
Or single player.
Or single player, or like possibly. Actually, did they talk about online?
not
for
that I
this?
remember, honestly.
Yeah.
12 sports: boxing, table tennis, archery, tennis, volleyball, bowling, basketball, golf, thumb wrestling, which is new, skateboarding, which is new and uses mouse controls, power cruising, which is that's like a jet ski, right?
Yep.
A prop plane, and then of course jump rope, which is new if you don't count jump rope challenge.
Which
yeah.
Why would you count it as part of the Switch Sports series? But I don't know. I just felt like, oh, okay, like basketball. It all makes sense.
Yes.
That tennis, golf, those are going to be gimmies. Bowling, they're going to be in
Right.
all of these. But just to have it be like volleyball's back from Switch Sports, basketball's back from Switch Sports. The ones that are coming back from Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort, great. Those are like 20-year-old games,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like, This feels like it could have been a Switch 2 edition of Nintendo's
I think
Switch Sports rather than
that's an excellent point. Yes.
here's like a whole new game.
But again, I think the way that you're going to be interacting with these games, how they're going to be served up to you, is going to be totally different from what it was in. Like they were trying something different in Nintendo Switch Sports, and this seems to me like they're reverting to what
That's
the
a really
series
good
was.
point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And it is a lower price point, $50 digital, 60 physical. We've been dancing around the thumb wrestling thing. Just one of those kind of like baffling Nintendo moments where we watch Koizumi play and lose a thumb wrestling match.
And it took me a while to realize what was going on, but he's narrating his experience or talking out loud and
Yes.
reacting, and someone's was translating for him.
Yes.
But at first I was like, wait, because we're seeing his face, but the thumb is as if it's from our perspective. So I was like,
Right.
is he playing against someone? What's going on here?
Right,
And then
yes.
Then I put it all together.
It was
early.
Also, it was 3 pictures, right? It was his face in the upper left corner, the gameplay in the middle, and then lower right corner was his hand holding
That's
the Joy-Con.
right, yes.
So there was a lot of stuff going on.
True.
And when you're pinned, you get unpinned by shaking the Joy-Con. Just made for some funny looking images of Yoshiaki Koizumi.
Reminiscent of things you could have been doing in 1-2 Switch, I think.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird. A weird title, but I think I don't know. I find it a little
I'm
bit
mildly
compelling.
interested in this. I'm always looking for an excuse to engage with sports and video games, being a big enjoyer of playing them and viewing them.
Yes.
So I'm open to this, especially seeing that it's at a lower price point. Maybe there could be something for me. I'm interested to see how the basketball works. I was disappointed that there's no baseball. Baseball left out.
Yeah, you were really rooting for baseball.
Yes.
But once
Yes.
again, shafted.
Yeah, so we'll see. It's an October release as well, so it's cool to have something on the calendar for that month.
Yes, right. Because we can probably assume that Zelda will be a November release.
That would be my guess, yeah.
Going up against GTA 6. All right, moving on.
Oh, the only thing I wanted to add is that
Yes.
with Nintendo Switch Sports, golf and basketball came later. Like
Yes.
basketball was like 2 years afterwards that they added it, and I wonder if we could see additional sports added here as well.
Yeah, I think
Like
that
in
that
the
is
future.
that is probable. I no mention here that the thigh strap.
There's no soccer,
True.
Yeah, but I mean it's just like that was a feature in the previous one,
right? Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
not
So
not part
before
of
that
this.
was like a reason to buy the physical version.
Yeah.
But now,
Now it doesn't seem like there is
yeah.
one. Yeah. All right. RuneScape Dragon Wilds comes out September 15th.
just another one that was revealed at Summer Game Fest, but not announced for Switch 2 at the time, and then
Oh.
would show up here
And then coming to both Switch and Switch 2
as exclusives.
as exclusives,
Hello Kitty Party Land.
Meow.
It's no Hello Kitty Cruisers.
It's not Hello Kitty Cruisers.
as far as titles go, but this looks like a Hello Kitty themed Mario Party, but maybe with like more options and like
140 plus Sanrio characters.
Oh, coming for that One Piece.
Yeah,
number.
exactly. Someday.
But, still more Batman characters. And then we saw another look at Star Fox, still coming out June 25th, which is coming up 2 weeks. There is a demo available now, which is the tutorial and the opening stage. They did a lot of this in Treehouse Live. But, this is all just checking in on Star Fox.
For me, an interesting thing that came out after the Direct is that Valen Studios posted on social media that they're the developers of the game. And this is the studio that previously worked with Nintendo on Mario Kart Live Home Circuit.
Which is that remote control car game.
With
Wow.
AR, which kind
Yes.
of, I wonder if there's like some synergies there with like the game chat stuff. But I also
That
think,
makes sense.
like Nintendo had talked about wanting to Nintendo has to partner with additional studios because games take so long to make and so all this kind of stuff. Valen Studios was not on my bingo card, but we've speculated before who could they be partnering with to create more software. Never would have guessed.
Yeah.
The Mario Kart Live Home Circuit folks, but cool to see.
Yeah.
Did anyone check out the demo?
No, but I plan to.
I don't know that I do because pre-ordered the game
Yes.
already, and so I'll just play it when she's out. But most impressions that I've seen are people being like, "Whoa, this like feels good."
Okay.
It
I
controls
watched
really well.
video of it in
Yeah.
comparison to like 64, and it looks really good. And I think the music is really well done.
right.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well,
I can only get so excited for this, but it
yeah.
looks like it is good.
I hope you like Nintendo 64 remakes. Next, coming to both Switch and Switch 2, Final Fantasy Resonance comes out October 22nd. It is the first HD 2D Final Fantasy turn-based battles. You summon visions, which is to say the heroes from previous Final Fantasy games. This was also pinging for me. Wait a minute, have we seen this thing before? And it seems like maybe it's a reworking, reimagining, but like new story of Final Fantasy Brave Exodus, which is a mobile game that also Exvius. Sorry. I'm sorry, I mispronounced the made-up word. But that is a similar like gacha style game where you're summoning Final Fantasy classic characters. I don't know. This is something that like could be something, but it could also be trash. It's impossible to tell.
It just didn't make any impact to me.
Right.
I don't know why that is, but I feel the same way about Bravely Default Zero, where it's like, oh, right, that game came out.
Or
like,
Octopath.
Octopath, yes. Octopath
Yes, because that
Traveler
was
Zero,
also
right.
had a similar beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I did hear a lot of positivity about
Yeah,
the
Exactly.
totally.
So.
Right.
Are we reaching a like critical mass of like HD 2D games from, because I feel like the cadence has like spun up, right? That in the last like year or so, we had the Octopath Zero, Adventures of Elliot is coming out, plus the two Dragon Quest HD 2D remakes. So that's like 5 games in the last year plus. And prior to that, it was like Octopath Traveler came out. Then 3 years later, whatever, Triangle Strategy comes out. Then a couple years later, Live Alive. And now it's just like, blah!
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them. So
I'm not sure if we've like reached like a limit on that threshold, but you're right, the frequency of these games is a lot higher.
yeah, it's a lot. All right, moving on to Pikuniku 2, which is different from Pictonico. These are things we have to keep straight.
Oh, wow.
This is coming out at some point next year. It's a puzzle exploration sequel to the original game. 3D worlds to explore. Puzzles.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to
It seems
add.
cute and charming, but I'll probably never play it.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest Monsters: The Withered World, which we had talked about a little bit because it was featured in the Dragon Quest anniversary stream.
Yeah.
Just without like footage. You scout monsters, which is to say recruit them. You can synthesize them. They don't say breed in this game. You synthesize them. It's not like Pokemon.
I'm out.
Yeah, Connor's out. Yep, that's coming out December 3rd.
Okay.
And then we get another look at Duskbloods, sort of.
Yeah, weird kind of like short cryptic tease, no release date.
Right.
But they do say that there's going to be a closed network test sometime this summer that will, of course, require a Nintendo Switch Online subscription. So, I don't know. I guess more to come from the Duskbloods.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just nice to get like a sign of life from it in some capacity. I guess the real news here is the network test.
Yes, and we probably last heard about it from that original Switch to Big Blowout.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
wanna
probably.
that's
say.
right.
So it's been like a year.
So 14 months at this point?
Yeah, that's right, Connor. You nailed it.
Yeah, that's math, folks.
Then Splatoon Raiders, checking back in on Splatoon Raiders. Do we need to like go through the stuff shown off here, or are we?
I feel like the big news is that we'll be talking about it again on June 30th because they're going to do a whole Splatoon Raiders Direct.
Yes, and also they're putting out comics in the lead up on Nintendo today. That are like that explain the story in the lead up to the events of the game. We're also getting a Splatoon Raiders themed Splatfest in Splatoon 3, and of course new Joy-Cons,
Awesome.
new Joy-Con 2.
Joy-Con 2.
I still, I have like zero drive to get these things.
And it's because
Yes.
we've talked about it before, and you two certainly have, but it's the way that they are colored.
Yes.
It's kind
just
of
on the
highlights.
edges. Yes.
Yes.
And then you're still putting them into your Switch 2
Yeah.
that is colored matched to the original Joy-Con.
Also, these are really similar in color to, I think, like Splatoon themed. Maybe they were the Splatoon 3 themed Joy-Con
that could be.
released on the Switch. Plus, they're $100, so it's much harder
Right.
to be
Right.
like, because I already have an extra pair of Joy-Con. It's
Right.
So it's much less of just an impulse buy at this point.
Then Deltarune Chapter 5 is coming out on the 24th, June 24th.
Should I care about Deltarune?
I
Has
don't
anybody
know.
played Deltarune?
I think we're too old to care about Deltarune.
We're not allowed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think if you like show up somewhere and you're like, hey, I'm playing Deltarune, they call the cops.
Yes.
Is that true? Because like it's the Undertale guy, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
but like kids are into it.
Oh, okay.
It is like just as kids are into Undertale,
Uh-huh.
which is a game that I don't think any of us have.
I
you play
haven't.
Undertale?
I haven't played Undertale.
It just feels like it connects with the younger folk.
I
More.
see.
So
I see.
let them have it. Go with God. I hope you enjoy Chapter 5 of
Is
Deltarune.
that the final chapter? I feel like they would have made a bigger deal about it if it was.
Yeah, I agree that they would have
Okay.
made a bigger deal. It's so funny to me how many Nintendo Directs Deltarune has been in at this point. Then Metaphor ReFantasio is coming to the Switch 2 on November 12th this year. This is an RPG from Atlas from a couple years ago, 2024, right at the end of the year, which sort of like swept up people in a lot of like, could this be Game of the Year?
Did either of you play it?
I own it on PS5. Have not opened it.
Oh, okay, yeah. But
Yes.
yeah, it's supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
Interesting to see this here. Notable absence from this direct. Any mention of like Persona 4
True.
or Persona 5.
Right.
I think Atlas's strategy around Nintendo continues to be bad and dumb. But yeah.
But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Those games could be on this console, and for some reason, so far, no word of that. There's plenty on the original, available for the original Switch, and
Right.
therefore this, but yeah, no Switch 2 information, so.
Metaphor, I remember getting kind of like wrapped up in the same conversation as Claire Obscure Expedition 33. As like, at some point they will figure out how to get this game on Switch,
Yes.
and that'll be good for the game and good for the platform. But we didn't see anything about Expedition 33 here. Then, we gotta, Minecraft is a game that they're going to sell a Switch 2 version of. So that we saw, but no date. This is one of those like, come, guys, leave this out.
Yes.
But no, I mean, I think this is a huge deal, but not to us.
Sure.
But yeah, sometime this year, Switch 2 version.
Then Sizzle Reel, anything from the Sizzle Reel that you want to shout out here?
Ooh, let me scan this again.
Of course, I'm excited for the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2.
I'm not personally excited for this, but I think it's a big deal that Final Fantasy XIV Online
Yeah.
is coming to
Yeah,
the Switch
that's true.
too. That is a massive MMORPG that has it really has its fans, and I still would probably be playing this on PC if I ever dabble, but pretty cool that it's going to be on the console.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mark, was there anything you wanted to call out there?
No, I don't think so.
My friend Ethan that I was watching this with was like, "Whoa, Warhammer 40K Space Marine? That's exciting." So he was excited
Okay.
about that. Then end of the sizzle reel, it's like, "Hey, Kingdom Hearts, we gotta talk about it." The Kingdom Hearts collections. So there are 3 collections that had previously been available as cloud versions of these games. And then there is a sort of Uber collection that collects all those collections, but they've changed the name of it. Do you remember it had like the collection had a weird name in the streaming version, like the cloud version?
Oh no, I don't.
I meant to look it up, but the new collection is just called like 1 through 3 bundle.
Interesting.
But they are $40 for each of them, or $75 for the complete bundle. If you had purchased these things in the cloud version, they're 50% off for you now.
That's because the cloud versions are going away, so you can't buy the cloud versions anymore.
Fascinating.
Starting when the announcement was made, so on Tuesday you could no longer buy them.
Yeah.
And at the it's like June 5th, something like that, in 2027, they'll stop being playable at all.
Okay.
So if you bought the cloud versions, you get 50% off the Switch 2 versions. and your saves will transfer.
Well, it's good that the saves transfer. In some ways, if they're not going to like, and I guess this is just like the danger of buying a cloud game that like they can take it away at any point.
Right.
But that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And I haven't heard of. There's been no. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this isn't something that they're continuing to do on the Switch 2 like they did on the Switch 1, right?
the
Like,
cloud
there's-
versions?
Yeah.
No.
I haven't heard of a single cloud version of anything.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of the goal with the Switch 2 is like be powerful enough to not have to do cloud versions of these games anymore.
Makes sense, yeah.
Um,
Am I getting this right that the whole bundle is $75?
yes.
That's an unbelievable deal, especially compared to the individual prices of these 3 collections, which is $39.99.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, they're really incentivizing just buy
buying
the
all
bundle.
of them.
Yeah.
I like 2 of those games. I might buy this bundle at some point to have all of them,
Yeah.
and and I love being confused.
And I don't know which way is up. Which are the 2 Kingdom Hearts games that are the games you like?
I've enjoyed my time with the first one. I have a copy on PS2. Never finished it, but played maybe 8 hours. And I really enjoy Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which was originally a PSP game.
Mm-hmm.
I played through one of those campaigns. You can play as one of 3 protagonists. I played as Ventus. And started Terra. Did not play Aquas. But that game, phenomenal on the PSP.
And is part of one of these collections.
Yes, I couldn't tell you which.
Okay, good.
But
Got
I
it.
saw it in the sizzle.
Yes.
I saw the characters.
And like all of this is, of course, we had mentioned it previously, but is all leading up to the like sort of extended trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4, which will be releasing on Switch the same time that it is on everything else. No indication of what the timeline for that would be.
When that will be.
Not even a year.
You know, one thing I do want to say about the cloud versions, although I guess, as far as I know, Capcom hasn't stopped supporting or announced they're going to stop supporting the cloud versions. But there were cloud versions of Resident Evil 7 and
I think 8.
2 remake?
I don't think so.
I don't think the
okay.
remakes.
But on Switch, and you didn't get any sort of discount for like buying them on Switch 2 when they became
that's a good
available.
point.
But they are still playable. They're not like end of life or they haven't announced it anyway.
Right,
So.
but they could at any point.
Yeah.
Wasn't like Control was another one of them
Yes.
that was
Yes.
like the big streaming version? I think
Yes.
that was about it.
Mhm.
So I think sort of interesting about the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer is that it's like basically set in the same place where the sort of teaser was set, which is just like a sort of normal looking real city being attacked by a giant monster. We do see Donald and Goofy at one point in the trailer.
Yep.
But that's kind of it, and no indication or tease of any of the worlds that they'll be going to
Yes.
in 4.
Yeah, I know there's been a lot of speculation of, could they finally dip into Star Wars?
Could they go into Star
But
Wars?
like you said, we don't really see any tease of that. But Sora looks aged up, if that is Sora.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure it is. Just noticed a little design difference. I was on the second watch, because I believe we all watched the direct twice.
That's right.
I was kind of focusing on like UI details in this.
Yeah,
and
because we do see some like combat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty cool. Like this kind of action combat. But Sora's icon specifically, I was staring at long enough just to be like, that's Sora, right? And I'm pretty sure it is.
Sure.
But
They could be hiding the ball.
They
That
could
like
be.
this could be somebody else.
and this is not just the first people we've heard about this game for the Switch 2, but the first people we've heard about this game
In years,
in
yeah.
years.
I think
period.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we would have heard before this.
Yes.
Yes, if it had popped up somewhere else.
I my thought right now is that this game, and Square Enix makes decisions that I don't always think are the smartest, but my thinking is that this doesn't come out even next year.
That's probably
Like
true,
2028 at the earliest, because we've got Final Fantasy VII Revelation, which will also be coming out on all the platforms and is another like action RPG coming out in 2027.
Yes, that Nomura is working on
Right.
as well.
Right.
Assuming he's working on 4.
Which you would think,
Yeah,
right? Like
I would
it's his
think.
baby, and the games are all insane. Mark, what are you looking up over there?
So yeah, the talk of the release date had me okay. So according to retail, I had seen a headline that was like is Kingdom Hearts 4 releasing in 2027? But I didn't interrogate it until this discussion came up, so I was trying to Google it and see where that idea came from. So apparently, I'm quoting from a Vice article. Eagle-eyed fans discovered the date at several major gaming stores such as EB Games and JB. Quote, this is for retail listings for the Kingdom Hearts collection 1 through 3, which is the one that was just announced. Quote, play through the full Kingdom Hearts series in one comprehensive package before the release of Kingdom Hearts 4 in 2027. Enjoy the complete saga at a newly accessible price point, making it an ideal entry for newcomers and a definitive edition for returning fans. End quote. Doesn't mean anything, but apparently that's copy that was on some gaming websites.
Someone either internal or freelance thought it was coming out at some point in 2027 at some point when they wrote that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's I don't have much of a relationship to the Kingdom Hearts games, but like more than the Xenoblade games, I'm like, but should I?
Sure.
Should I have a because it's like related to Final Fantasy. It's another one though where I'm like, am I too old for Kingdom Hearts?
I don't think so. I want to
Connor
say
says
no.
no.
You got to get in there with Captain Jack Sparrow.
I mean,
Come on.
You are
It's
correct,
Captain
of course.
Jack.
Captain Jack Sparrow. Do you have to battle a Kraken?
I bet. I know that there's some ship stuff in the third one.
Okay, all right.
You might be getting down with the Kraken.
It's also crazy that like a $75 game that is, a bundle of all of these games, that's less than I've already spent on Fire Emblem.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And
Or that you will, yes.
spend on Pokemon. Yeah. Exactly. Which now we lead up to the final thing, right? The final moment of the direct, and we are warned this is the final thing that we're going to see. It is the teaser trailer for The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time, which is coming out at some point this year, and seemingly the name of it is The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time.
Yep.
It starts with like a kind of tapestry that is showing the Great Deku Tree and like Kokiri doing various things. It seems like Link doing a lot of things around like the sort of border.
No,
of it.
I think it's like the Kokiri that we know from the game, like being in the forest.
Sure.
And then they make a point of there's also a boy who doesn't have like a fairy,
Right.
and that is Link. But it's interesting, like I don't know how much to read into this, but like it's a tapestry, so it's a literal Legend of Zelda. But are there not to get all Final Fantasy VII remake,
Do it.
but are there implications for the Zelda timeline? Because Ocarina of Time is where the split happens, and so if there is a narrator in this universe telling the story of Ocarina of Time,
Right.
what version of this is he expressing?
Right. Is that justified within the narrative?
Yeah.
I've been slowly replaying Ocarina of Time for the 3DS.
Yes.
So I've had my memory jogged recently that the opening of that game also begins with the same exact narration. I don't know if it's word for word, but it's pretty dang close. And I don't believe that a narrator is ever identified in that game.
Yeah, interesting.
But hearing this made me wonder who is, if anyone, narrating this. Is this the Great Deku Tree? But I don't know why the Great Deku Tree would be narrating this when he's going to be a part of the story. Is this the owl who is impeding your progress at any point?
Do you want me to say that again?
Yes. No, I said yes. No, I pushed the wrong button. Why was no on top? So I'm not sure who's narrating this, but yeah, the tapestry of it all, I'm like, is this just presentational for this, or is this something that is just going to be in this part of the game or in it somewhere else?
Or is it not in the game at all and it's just
Yes.
for this teaser trailer? But like Koizumi at the end, after the
Yes.
reveal, and the marketing language on the like kind of placeholder page that they have for it,
Yes.
says that it's reborn.
Yes.
And so what are I think some of this is wish casting. But my hope is that
Literally all we can do because we have no information.
but my hope is that this is like more than just a remake of Ocarina of Time, and that it is like a
like a reimagining
really
of the
taking, like,
events.
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
And we fade from the image of Link in the tapestry to like what is maybe representative of in-game graphical style of Link asleep like on the bed, and he looks to my eye very much like the like a modern Disney animated movie, like attempting like realistic skin textures and stuff like that. We are away from the sort of like cell shading stylization of even like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But also of the sort of like more impressionistic look of like Skyward Sword or Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
This is genuinely not an art style that we've seen applied to Zelda before. Feels a little bit in line with the Star Fox redesigns.
I had a similar thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that this is not my own observation, but it rang true for me. I definitely saw someone, perhaps in the Discord channel,
Yes.
For NCS.
Email us Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com.
I participated in that one. It was like, oh, this is just the one shot that we see kind of above this sleeping child Link in his bed in the Kokiri Forest. It did read so similar to all those videos that you see online that are like, I remade Ocarina of Time in Unreal Engine 5. And I will be honest, it was off-putting, the design.
Yes.
I may end up loving it. I may actually love it when it's in motion. I probably will. But I definitely had that being the only thing that we really saw outside of the tapestry was part of what made me, I think, feel uneasy.
Yes.
The implications of it are cuckoo bananas when you think of like all the other characters in that game. What does the Great Fairy look like if this is
I'm back in.
What
does Lord Jabu Jabu
what does
look
Lord
like?
Jabu Jabu look like?
Yes.
Yeah, what do the Zora look like? What does like Under the Well look like?
Right.
You know,
what does a Re-Dead look like?
Yes.
Is it dripping with gore?
Exactly. Like what are the spiders
Dampy.
look like?
We got to see Dampy.
Dampy. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Gorons.
Yeah. So no, totally. I think it was shocking. It was so unexpected. I have faith. I don't find it as like I wasn't put off by it.
Sure,
but I understand the reaction.
It just, for me, it felt a lot like seeing these Star Fox designs at first, which like now, and I still think that like the character designs are like kind of ugly. But seeing more of the game in action, I'm like, okay, fine. Like the gameplay looks good. But I just feel like we're going to be spending so much more time with the characters in action in Ocarina of Time.
You know, I'm moving that camera around because you can now. I'm moving around.
Yes.
I'm looking at Link. I had one other thing that I was just thinking about.
Yes.
We still also don't definitively know about this game, which is, are we going to be getting... Is this one game that covers at least like what we knew was Ocarina of Time? There's no subtitle that we know, even though it is sort of contextualized with this phrasing of being reborn.
Right.
I personally do hope it's one game. It's kind of my expectation right now, but like everything else, so much remains to be seen about this title.
Yeah, literally everything.
Yes.
It's but I will say, having the year on there, knowing that it is going to come out within the next 6 months, that's exciting to me.
And like I said at the top of the show, I think our reactions to it were purposeful, where they were like, all right, we're going to freak people out, and then we'll let it like settle, and then we'll blow out the game. Because, I mean, I find it really... I said this in the Discord as well. Nintendo Cartridge Society
at gmail.com.
But I said this in the Discord where it's like controversial art style choices are like part and parcel for Zelda now.
Yes.
Wind Waker, you had when Link Between Worlds was first shown. Like Ocarina of Time, they're not idiots. They know how special that game is. And so I am willing to give them the benefit of the doubt on, I think they're going to treat it right. You know, I don't think they're going to mess this up.
And I'm buying and playing it either way.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, it's just it is true that if this had wholly been of left field and there had been no rumors of it ever, right? Not just like the recent Nate the Hate ones.
Right.
Because like I feel like an Ocarina of Time remake is in the works is something that has been like in the ether for a while.
Yes.
Right? And obviously they've done it before on 3DS. but that it would be shocking just to have it like verified out of nowhere that there's a remake of this game.
It goes back to I think the first thing that I shared on the show, which was knowing my expectations played a part in my reaction to this.
Right.
I think, but like you too, Mark, despite how I felt uneasy about what I saw, I feel unsure. I also, if I had to guess, I'd say that we're in good hands. So we'll see. I wonder when we might hear more. Is it that
I think I would guess
probably
September.
Yeah, September.
That is like quick though. Like
Yes.
to go from like here we're announcing this thing exists to it's going to be out by the end of the year. They've traditionally had like a little bit of a longer tail for Zelda games, right? Although I guess how long did we know about like Echoes of Wisdom before it came out? Probably less than a year, right?
I think it was June Direct is what I think happened, and then it came out in, was that October, September?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Just
so
a couple
maybe
months later.
I mean also they've been so surprising with when they've done directs. Maybe we'll just like we did for Star Fox get an out of the blue,
Yeah.
you know, like in July or August or something.
Right,
Just be
but
like in
but sometimes they tell us that we're going to be talking about Splatoon Raiders,
Yes,
right?
yes.
At the end of June,
And then
Right.
sometimes it's a 10-minute warning.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
Star
right.
Fox Direct. So
and everyone's like, "What is this a joke?"
yeah.
So okay, and then we sort of transition out of that last little trailer, and Koizumi kicks it over to new Nintendo of America president Devin Pritchard,
Yeah.
who is moving her hands like Reggie Fils-Aimé, and is emphasizing how much like playing the games is the actual juice behind all of this. Well, they're excited to show us the games that we'll be playing. They're even more excited for us to get our hands on them.
And Splatoon Raiders will be at LA or San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
Did anybody watch Treehouse Live? I did not.
I watched some of it, but it was it was like an hour and a half, and like the video, I don't know if they're going to split them up later, but like when I went back to check now, it's still one video that is like
there's
the
no, like,
direct
chapter
into
marks or anything.
Treehouse.
Yeah.
It totally threw me off when I was rewatching the Direct, and I paused it after what I realized were 25 minutes, and it was like a seventh of the
Yes.
of the play bar, and I was like,
Yeah.
Oh my
whoa.
God.
So yeah, I scrubbed through it, and it seemed, I think all that was really played there was 3 titles.
Yeah.
Star Fox, Splatoon Raiders, Rhythm Heaven, Groove, and then they went back and played more Star Fox.
Yeah, I
To
think
do
they
the
did
multiplayer.
multiplayer
Yeah.
at the
Yes.
end. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't. It's also like just a sort of interesting feature of the way that they do these now. They used to do the June direct related Treehouses live on the show floor,
Right.
and these are all pre-recorded bits.
I wish that they would have shown Fire Emblem, because that's what got me really excited about Three Houses, was watching the Treehouse Live
Oh, yeah,
in like
interesting.
2019. Because then you got to see like the mechanics, and it was like, oh, this like school thing, that's really the part that hooked me. And so I really wish we would have seen gameplay of Fortune's Weave.
I would be willing to, just especially when that game comes out. I think it's mid-September, maybe
Yeah.
the 17th or so. I could look at your notes, but I'm not right now.
I'll do it.
I would assume that you'll get that information, but you're right that that could hook someone.
September 17th, correct.
Okay.
But yeah, there's obviously a lot more of this that we could have poured over there. But the direct was already like an hour long, so
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what's interesting, just to sum up like the direct for me is, and I feel this way about the Switch 2 generation so far, it's like, it's not that the problem, if you want to call it a problem, is not that there's not stuff. Like Nintendo is putting out stuff. Stuff I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Splatoon Raiders. I'm looking forward to Fire Emblem. I'm really intrigued by obviously like the Ocarina of Time game, and of course I'm going to buy it. But it feels like in stasis a little bit. Like it just feels like, and like the third parties are really coming through. So if you're like me and you're a Switch 2 only player, it's like I have more stuff that I could be playing on Switch 2 than I'll ever have time for.
right,
And yet,
right.
it just
I know.
feels like
I know.
And I think I honestly think it's gonna take that 3D Mario. It's gonna take
Or a new 3D Zelda.
right.
Because like part of what feels like a little like stale or not exciting is that even when there are the third party like day and date like games, a lot of what we're seeing is like ports from a couple years ago, right? That they're like rushing to catch up. Oh shoot, we can put this out on Switch too. And then when you're like, and the antidote for that is a remake of a game from 30 years ago. Even one of the greatest games ever made, it's still old, right?
Yes.
And I love engaging in like the nostalgia and celebrating the things that we have already loved. But like, Nintendo, show me something new, and even when like the other new games are like, Wii Sports Resort sequel, it's like, okay, you've made like 8 of these games, and what is really the difference here? So yeah, I'm just hurting for new from my guys.
Yes, I think that for the most part, the tent poles that I really look forward to, a lot of which we've just named: new 3D Mario, new 3D Zelda. We've been lucky to see we thought 2 3D Zeldas in the last generation, brand new games, which was great, which were 2 all-time games for me. But Mario, we haven't seen our lad in what is now 9 years in a play style that is almost unmatched for me. So yeah, there are a few franchises that I would love to see too, but those I assume will come. It just feels like I know a little less about the future than I normally do. So maybe that's what it is. It's just that in the past, in the Switch 1 generation, we maybe knew a little bit more of what we were getting in the near future.
Possibly.
Perhaps.
I do feel like we would record an episode probably like 3 times a year being like, and we don't know what the rest of Nintendo's year is.
No, I really feel like the difference is that like Mario 3D Mario is like an anchor for a Nintendo generation, and you just feel kind of moreless without one. And like it is obviously in the works, but it's just difficult to get a real sense of like what the Switch 2 is from the perspective of like a Nintendo console until you have those like tentpoles,
Yeah, I will also say that like the other, as we are in the sort of like age of, or the week of the Summer Game Fest like time, right? And people have their like individual showcases that like everyone else has kind of been bringing it, right? Like that Sony State of Play was like exciting. We got to see a lot of like the new God of War game. Who knows when that's coming out? And like Wolverine, and like I think that usually I'm like the Nintendo Directs, that's got the most like tones of games that I'm interested in playing. And I almost see like some of that third party, like dark, grimy, like not to talk poorly of Onimusha, but like I see that and I'm like, that belongs in a different showcase, even if it would be on Switch eventually.
I do think it's funny. Like, I would say that PlayStation their first parties have a similar, they have the same problem that Nintendo does, the same problem that all of gaming does, where it's like just takes a cajillion years to make games. And so like Sony, maybe that Sony State of Play was impressive, but it was preceded by years of unimpressive state of plays. And so someday Nintendo's turn at bat will come up, but it just I'm not saying Nintendo's washed forever. Yeah.
That's not my takeaway from this. But that's just like having that point of comparison here. It makes me go like, oh man, my guys didn't do as well as I'm used to seeing them do.
Yeah. The last thing I really wanted to say was I made a little just bullet points of like the first party games that are coming out for the rest of the year, and there's a lot. It feels like we are getting Star Fox in June, 2 games in July in Rhythm Heaven Groove and Splatoon Raiders. I think August there's 1.
I don't have anything in August,
so maybe August is empty, but there's 2 in September, including Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, Nintendo Switch Sports Resort, and then Ocarina of Time at November or December.
I know, that's the thing. They are bringing games. It's not like they don't have anything going for them. I just think we all feel unanchored because we're waiting. Everybody's just kind of like waiting for 3D Mario
Yeah.
to let us know what is this generation really going to be like.
Perhaps September will hear a little bit.
We'll start the rumor mongering.
Yeah.
When do we think the September Direct
Yes.
is going to happen? We may as well just do we sort of expect a September Direct, do you think?
I do think so. Again,
Like, are we back on the schedule?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if we're back on the. I assume September as well, but this year not having something in February like a proper one makes me wonder if we shouldn't expect 3 proper directs every year. So I don't know.
Isn't it funny that directs in the past couple of years they have been general directs have been sparser.
Yes.
We're getting directs like
You're right.
crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
But general directs have been sparser. But even when we are getting them, like February, June, September, it'd be like, it's been forever since there's a direct. And like from June to September, it's like nothing.
Truly.
Yes, that is all true. There was something as I was updating my spreadsheet of the new releases. I was like, oh dang, that's like over a year between. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. We first heard about it last September, and now it's not coming out until over a year after it was announced.
Okay.
That's long for Nintendo nowadays.
And I think really long for a Fire Emblem game, right?
Yeah.
Just development takes forever. So, all right. Any final thoughts? All right, let's close this conversation out. Conner McCabe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you both for having me. I was looking at my Google Docs earlier.
Yes.
When I made a little tab to take notes for this direct while I watched it, and I noticed that the June of 2021 was when we did our first sort of E3 episode together on your show, and that was 5 years ago. So thanks for having me back. Anytime we get a chance to do this is a blast. And even though I may have been a wee bit disappointed by the direct, it was still very fun, and chatting about it may have been even more fun.
I will agree with that. And the there are sometimes Nintendo Directs, usually like a partner showcase or something, where I'm like, all right, now we got to talk about it. Now we got to put lipstick on this pig.
Indie World showcases.
Yes. But this was not that, despite the fact that like I do think it in some ways is a mess and misprioritized, and or at least for my liking just wasn't as exciting as I wanted it to be. It was very fun to talk about it with the two of you and to break down. There's just so many games in this thing.
Once I saw it on a list, and thank you, Mark, for putting that together.
Yeah, truly
I was
heroic.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, below.
Whoa, I had to be there.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, thanks for having me again.
Conner, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Yes. Please, if you're out there, check out my podcast, Call Me By Your Game. I post it in the NCS community channel of the Discord every so often. It's a podcast where I interview people about what makes video games special to them. And keep your eye out, folks, for the upcoming Mina the Hollower Games Club. That the first episode will come out for free, so you can listen to that. But it's going to be behind a paywall on our Patreon. Mr. Patrick Ellers is going to be joining us for that games club. So stay tuned for that.
Yep. Great, Conner. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you to our 16-bit patrons, Conner McCabe,
Hey.
Kyle Seaborn, Drew Mackey, Anthony Lobridge Ellis. If you want to get in our Discord, we've shouted out a couple times. You know what to do. Email us. We will let you in. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8BitBetty. You can get more of his music by going to 8BitBetty.com. or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers saying thank you for listening.